What's up everybody, my name is Dwight and welcome to GeForce Garage. Faruk Kugay is an incredible drift racer who you may have seen on Netflix's Hyperdrive or Discovery's Getaway Driver. We invited him in today to show him the ultimate iRacing gaming rig.
Hey everyone, my name is Faruk Kugay and I'm a drifter. I started at the grassroots level about 20 years ago and I moved all the way up to the professional level, and my last year competing in Formula Drift was 2020. In 2020, I was introduced to sim racing from my buddies over at EK Fluid Gaming. And it wasn't necessarily because of the pandemic, but it was more because I was looking for some off-season practice. And for that, I'm turning to iRacing to do some more training. Now my shop is at Sonoma Raceway, and I'd like to practice more there. The problem is that my computer at the shop is definitely behind the times. So I'm here today because GeForce Garage has teamed up with Envious Mods and EK to build me a new rig, and I can't wait to see it.
iRacing is the premier online racing simulator featuring real-world cars and tracks. It's used for training by some of the world's best professional race car drivers across NASCAR, IndyCar, sports cars, and Grand Prix circuits. Precision and milliseconds matter in iRacing, making NVIDIA Reflex an essential tool underneath your PC's hood. NVIDIA Reflex reduces system latency so your actions occur quicker and gameplay feels more responsive, making you more competitive as you battle it out on the track. NVIDIA Reflex is enabled with a simple click of the mouse and reduces system latency by up to 20%. So in order to run iRacing at the highest quality, we need the best hardware. We'll be meeting, or exceeding in some cases, each of iRacing's high-end recommendations. Not only do we need a rig with tons of power under the hood, we felt it was only fitting to have it match on the outside as well. That's why we worked with Calen Sadler of Envious Mods to help us with the build. Well, welcome Calen back to GeForce Garage. Great to have you.
Thanks for having me, I appreciate it.
I think the last time that we saw you, you brought in a big Cosmos build that you called Void.
I did, and it was actually the first time you'd ever seen a chimney orientation for a motherboard.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. So what did you bring today?
Today I brought you a mod that I call the DriftMod, and it was actually built and developed for a pro Formula drift racer named Faruk. It kind of matches all his stuff that he has going on. The car matches the computer, matches the sim racing, which makes it really awesome and something fun to work on.
How did you come up with the actual concept of the build? Did you start with this case or?
Yeah, the case kind of fell into place. We were looking for something aggressive, and we ended up talking with Antec, and the torque is actually a perfect fit case for it. It's got the aggressive look, which matches the overall concept.
Nice. So I can tell that there's been a lot of modifications to the case. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about what you did?
Yeah, we kind of modeled stuff after his car. The gauges and the gas filler and all that stuff is actually functional. You fill the system through the gas filler on top, like you would a race car or drift car. Other big things, we took two different reservoirs from old water cooling systems and we customized them so they would actually work as a dual exhaust. There's also headlights with venting. Another thing we did is parts directly from Japan. So we got some OEM parts from real cars. Like the Sylvia badge, I actually got off the actual car from Japan. We also have a shift pattern on there that we had shipped especially just for this.
Wow. And you have a functional Wi-Fi antenna and the gauges as well.
Yep. The top gauge actually works for amperage coming off the power supply, and the bottom measures ambient temp. Like you said, the antenna up there is actually part of the ASUS motherboard and it works.
Yeah. There's also a lot of acrylic work on this case.
There is.
Can you walk us through like how and where and what you did with all of it?
Across the top here, everything was made with just flat sheet acrylic. Some of it's handmade and hand cut and hand filed. Some of it's laser cut, and we also had to heat bend a lot of the different parts on here so they would match and actually fold around, give it more 3D view. Also, there's vents in the front. There's diffusers in the back, just like a regular drift or race car. We also got this little tow bar here, just in case you need to tow it around a bit. Also, another big thing is these springs up here. They're actual real coilovers a guy makes, and they're very small. They're actually made for pretty good sized RC cars. And they ended up working perfectly. I made some custom acrylic mounts for them, and they just fit the entire styling and design.
Yeah, you've done a couple of other things to the front too, like that little flippy switch.
Yeah. And actually it's what's called a NOS switch or a NOS switch they use in race cars. But when it's flipped open, you actually can see the lit up Antec logo, which is pretty cool. And also above that is the start button. So it's like an engine start button versus just a power button on the front, like custom made.
I also noticed that you wrapped a couple of pieces in the inside of this case.
I did, and actually this wrap is 100% color matched to Faruk's car. Also, another thing you'll see is the honeycomb aluminum grille, which everybody sees in race cars or drift cars. Also, there's some little pipe clamps in there that are made from aluminum, and then I carbon fiber wrapped them. And they're used in the race industry as well for different things in their engine bay, like hoses, wiring, and stuff like that. And of course, we have Faruk's name here. We couldn't have made an epic mod without Faruk on there. So this is a little homage to him, and I really hope he likes it.
Well, I think you absolutely nailed the aesthetic of like a race car meets a computer, but what are the actual specs of the computer?
We started out obviously with the Antec torque case. Then we added a 10900K i9 CPU, all wrapped up in the Z590 Glacial from ASUS. I dropped in 32 gigs of Gskill's Royal Elite RAM. I also added 5 terabytes of Seagate's FireCuda storage. And everything's powered with a 1500 watt BeQuiet power supply. The whole water cooling loop is from EK. And for the graphics card, we're featuring the GeForce RTX 3080 Ti.
All right, well, that all sounds great. Let's go see what Faruk thinks.
Let's go.
All right, Faruk, are you ready?
Yep.
All right, open your eyes.
What? That is nuts. It's actually the same color as my S13. And what? He even got my logo in there from the shop? I mean, the attention to detail, like the Sylvia logo, the Nismo. These gauges look like they're working.
Yeah, no, they're both functional.
This is badass. It's absolutely incredible. You know, to me, it doesn't even look like a computer. And when you get closer to it, you see how the functionality's been really mirrored with the aesthetics. The fact that the gauges work, the fill for the water cooling is actually like a gas cap, and that's all functional. You know, a lot of the time when people add those little nuances, they don't try to make them functional, it's just an aesthetic piece. But here, everything's tied in to be as functional as possible, and it shows a passion. I got some time on the PC, and it feels incredible. It feels so much better than what I've been used to at the shop. The frame rate is so much higher. The image quality is so much better. The 3 screens allow me to really see, you know, when I'm going into turn 7 at Sonoma, you can look right and you actually can see the apex of turn 7 now. So what I'm looking forward to with this PC is having a platform that I can really develop and train with. Racing is extremely fast paced, and reacting to things that I see or feel in the car is super important in order to get a quick lap time or to be able to get around the track properly. And having a powerful computer that can give me that information quickly, it's exactly what I need.
Thanks, Faruk, for visiting. That sim rig is so much fun. I need one of those for myself. Also, great work, Calen. Always love seeing a new build from you. I'm looking forward to whatever our next project is together. And a big thanks to EKWB for helping us make this happen. If you guys enjoyed this video and would like to see more, hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you for the next one.